Audio's good on both ends because some days it just goes. It's good one day, then it's not good the next. So I always check it and make sure.
Yeah, tonight it's about tea and water.
Yeah.
The last episode, it was two. I don't know what beverages I had, but plus I got finished another nice workout, so
That's cool. It's cool.
Endorphins are going.
Episode 107, First and Framerates podcast. Been a pretty good week for me anyway. It's back because we're supposed to be here yesterday. Had a couple things I had to take care of. Got that out the way, so that's great. Couple family issues I had to deal with, but nothing major, nothing bad or nothing. But just got to do your own thing when
Sure. Real life pops up.
Right, exactly. So today, we're gonna be talking a few things about these playoffs, a couple of coaching changes, one that's still in the air. We'll talk about Clemson and LSU when they play later on next week, and we'll talk about David Stern. Live on YouTube and Twitch. You can also catch us on iTunes and SoundCloud if you're listening to us when we're not live. It's always a pleasure to have people come through and listen. It's a pleasure to have people to download the podcast. So it's all love on every end. Myself, VF Baller, also DJ81, Bills Fourth. The crew is all together, and we're gonna give you we're gonna give you a good quality podcast. First and foremost, we'll go with the intros. Bills, what you been up to?
Same shit, different week. Just music shit, nothing major.
Okay. Nothing major, nothing going on. DJ, what about you?
Well, I was back on that State of Decay 2. I had the live stream in place in First and Framerates, and a fuck you to the two people that disliked the stream to start off.
Well, I appreciate them coming through it. It garners engagement. They did the same thing on my video, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, but I had two people at least keep the chat lively. Doug Thomas was there, and 3D printing is a unique sub. I don't think he comes here. He definitely came through for State of Decay 2.
Mm-hmm.
They have quite the community over there, so I'm actually merging with them as well, and been focusing on improving my own body. So been working on the TRX suspension trainer. Got through another grueling workout tonight. And I'm preparing my body for the war because apparently World War III is about to pop off.
Yeah. Just keep informed of what's going on in the news. It's crazy. I'm not trying to keep everybody down with that foolishness. We're not here for that. We'll keep everybody upbeat and try to get away from the dumb shit, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, Smitty's here. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Smitty.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? Long time no see. And Happy New Year to you too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't heard from him. Hope everything's good. I might need to call him and check on him. Check your phone within the next couple of days, Smitty. I'm gonna give you a call. On my end, getting this game room together. I got the second PC hooked up. It is up and running. Got everything good there. The operating system in that one. So I have my second PC up over here to my right. I got everything else I got hooked up. All my consoles are hooked up to 2 televisions, and I got my more recent consoles hooked up to these monitors up here. So everything is going great in this game room. I kind of got it finally like how I want it. I'm about to move my games over towards the consoles and the TV, so I don't have to go behind my couch to get any games. But so, like I said, everything is going good up here. I'm enjoying it. I even got a little area for my son to chill out and play and watch, YouTube, because he likes to watch his nursery rhymes, or he'll watch some basketball or football I'm watching. And it's just good up here. Even the wife can come up here and chill out, because I'm about to move all this over here and put a bed over there, and she can go to sleep while I deal with all my shenanigans.
How about she be a guest one day?
Nah, I ask her. She'll probably tell me to fuck off and go back upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, she likes the YouTube thing, but she thinks what we do is not in her. It's not in her realm. She likes to do her own thing. If it ain't got nothing to do with makeup and cleaning and baby stuff, that's up her alley. But as far as her talking about video games and sports, she'd be like, y'all talking about the Broncos? No. If it ain't about the Broncos, you like, yeah, go Find something else to do.
Hell no, we ain't talking about them whole ass Broncos.
Right. You know, I mean, I respect them. You know, that's my wife's team, so I ain't gonna disrespect them. But we don't talk about them.
I respect her. I respect her, but fuck them.
So, nevertheless, we're gonna talk
Broncos.
We'll talk about the coaching changes. Not many. It's a lot less than I thought it'd be.
Well, the big one was in Washington.
Well, as of right now, yes. I mean, there's a couple
many big things happened in Washington. They took out that ping pong table too. Got rid of that goddamn annoying ass. Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know how ping pong table's annoying, but okay. I mean,
well, shoot, if you listen to the interviews after the games that they would get blown out and you hear that ping pong table in the background, yeah, you'd be annoyed as well.
Well, I mean, for the players, I don't think it is, but that's another story.
Yeah, but they were better at ping pong than football.
Well, I mean, that's how it is sometimes. Some people are better at other things.
Well, then they should get paid to play ping pong. Fuck that.
Right.
I mean, who's making the shot? Who's making the calls on that?
Well, Rivera
some asses in the organization. That's why they got fired.
Right.
We'll see if that changes. Nevertheless,
well, it did change.
It hasn't changed yet. Your players are still there.
But the ping pong table is gone. That's all that matters.
No, it doesn't. They need to perform.
It does.
No, it does not. They need to perform on the field.
It starts there.
The coach is changing, bro. The coach is changing, all right? See, KB3's hip. The coach is changing, bro.
I mean, it's changing, but I mean, all right, whatever. Ravens Nation got it right. Now, I wonder if y'all caught on to that, but that's another issue that's a part of it.
Well, Ravens Nation knows shit.
Right. You know, if you have a couple of other moves and changes, it'll, you know, a lot of things will shake up. It's a good thing that the Redskins did make that change. I think Ron Rivera would be really good for the organization, as far as you know, just getting back to football. Nevertheless, I don't think he's a great coach, but he's good enough to get that team where it needs to go. It's definitely in the right direction. I think he did some good things in Carolina. So I think the sky is the limit, and I will just see how it goes. Who else lost their job? The Giants coach lost his job as well. Yeah, they're not really caring about that too much.
Jason Garrett's whole ass finally got. Well, I'm sorry.
They're still it's not even official yet.
But that's what's getting me is the fact that they're like, well, they're not gonna like the wording they use to say he's not coming back is some of the most fucking politically correct bullshit language I've ever read. I've never seen them say the coach will not be involved in the organization going forward. He's fired.
Bro. Who are we talking about here?
But the thing is,
Jason Garrett. That's what
no.
Yeah,
who
worded it that way? That's the thing.
It's not even that. Like, who the buck stops with who,
bro? It's not. That's not the point that it stops with Jerry Jones. The point is, like I said, it's unprecedented to see that bullshit.
That's the reason. That's the reason why all this is going the way it is. If it was another owner, his ass would have been going probably 3 seasons ago.
That doesn't take away the fact that was bullshit language to say he's not coming back. We get it. He's not coming back. Get him fuck out.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know if he's not coming back or not because
they already said he's not.
Well, the Fort Worth Telegram 40 minutes ago just said he's still a coach.
Well, so, they said he won't be returning this year, as in they're not re-signing him. His contract is up on the 14th. He's not coming back.
Okay.
No, until they come out and refute that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Jason Garrett's still a coach based on the Dallas newspaper.
Yeah, until January 14th.
They just said it 40 minutes ago. Now, show me something that says January 14th. I'm all in. But when it comes to Jerry Jones, I don't trust anything until I see Jason Garrett's in the unemployment line somewhere. It's just the circus of Dallas. That's just the way they are. So it's like as far as I'm concerned, his ass is coming back next year.
Jerry Jones is treating him delicately like a fucking box of damn pottery or some shit like they're moving into a new house.
Like a son, like you don't like he's like a son that you don't want.
He doesn't even treat his son as good as he treats his bitch, Jason Garrett.
Well, he did the same thing to Tony Romo. He treated him as better than his son.
But
what are we talking about?
Well, hold on. The same thing was done with Wade Phillips. Remember, it took a long while for Wade Phillips to get fired from Dallas.
I didn't take. I don't think it though.
It's not as bad, but it took a little long on
Wade Phillips didn't deserve to be fired.
Right.
But even that was a circus.
Yeah, but it's worse now because it's like, if you know he's not returning, you just say, oh, well, January 14th, he's not coming back. We're not going to re-sign him. Well, big fucking whoop. Fire
this is the thing. That is 11 days from now. Why would you say that on the 14th he's fired? Just let him go.
But that's what I'm saying. That's you're making my point. That's what I'm saying. It's like I've never seen this dumb shit before where it's like, well, on the 14th when his contract expires.
Wait a minute.
What?
I know what it has to do with. If you let his contract expire, it kind of has that same feeling as a regular employee. If you fire them before their last day, then they can try to collect something. I don't know what the case would be in the NFL.
Now I'm about to say, does that same apply?
It could be that because his contract runs out.
Well,
his contract runs out. The Dallas doesn't owe him anything.
I think you also got to understand this is the state of Texas. They might have different laws, but I have no idea.
I think they just don't want to fire his sorry ass.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to fire him either.
I think they just want to say, well, mutually on January 14th, he's not re-signing. We're not taking him back. Boom, boom, boom. I think that's what they want to do. It's more sort of optics, I think, than any financial situation.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, we didn't fire him. His contract ran out.
Right,
and again, it fits with the language that you don't that you hate because it's just like get to the point. Just let him go.
It's like we know his ass ain't coming back, but it's like you want to sit and let it fester until the 14th, where it's like, well, we've had a good run and we didn't necessarily fire you. You didn't quit. We're just gonna go our separate ways. Like, man, get out of here with that.
Well, and then you also had the Browns. Freddie Kitchens is gone. I mean that was almost expected.
Yeah. Right,
it was almost as expected.
Yeah, but the shocker was the GM being fired, though.
That was interesting to me because, like he put together a good team. He put together a damn good roster.
Yeah, he did.
And Kitchens just wasn't the right cook to make all those ingredients work. In my opinion, I don't think it was Dorsey's fault.
No, I don't think it was.
I think he was a scapegoat in the end. They had to have somebody to blame. Kitchens was the obvious first choice, but then Dorsey, it seemed like they're like, well, we'll just clean out and start over. But I mean, damn, it's like
so as of right now, you got 4 people that's probably in potential coaches over there. You got Josh McDaniels. You also have Mike McCarthy, Urban Meyer, and Eric Bieniemy, Chiefs offensive coordinator.
See, McCarthy would be interesting.
McCarthy would be a really good fit.
I don't really buy into the KC coach only because I think Andy Reid still calls the plays, so he's just kind of there.
The problem with
coordinator.
The problem with Mike McCarthy too is his plays are still predictable. He gonna have to switch some things up because that's what really got him out of the Packers. Like they was running plays that defensives knew like for 2 years straight.
As a Patriots fan, I'd like to see McDaniels go there because the first time he was a head coach, he had some success. I want to see how he does. I don't want him to take the reins here without Brady being here, and Brady's gone this offseason. So I would like to see McDaniels go somewhere with some talent, and I think the Browns might be the place.
Okay. Yeah. I think with all that talent, I think he'll flourish very well. Urban Meyer, I don't know too much about that because I've never seen him in the NFL, so I don't know how that.
Yeah, he was close once, but never really. Wait, did he?
No, I don't.
No, not that. Maybe he has.
He was close, but I don't think he ever actually coached.
Maybe he has, but I don't remember.
Yeah, because the last 2 was Saban and Spurrier, I believe, and I think there may have been one more that was coaching in the pros and then went right back to college.
Right. So I don't see anything there that'll say like, okay, this will work with Urban Meyer. So it's kind of hit and miss. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I don't know. In other words, what do you think with the Cowboys job? But like if some, what kind of coach they need there to actually be relevant? Because I mean the Cowboys could fall back really easy if they don't get the right coach. And not only that, if that coach is not listening to Jerry Jones, they're going to have to do that. And what kind of coach? I'm not saying which coach, but what kind of coach?
Well, I mean, I thought Kellen Moore should have been promoted. He's had a lot of time in the organization. He played back up there for a number of years.
Right.
I think he would have been a natural choice. and just try him out and see how that works out. I think the players would like playing for him. It's somebody that they're used to. But I mean, I don't really see what coach would work there unless they were a pushover.
That's funny because that would be a quick progression for him because you're talking about he was just playing a couple years ago?
Playing a couple years ago, moved
and then he got injured, and that pretty much ended his career.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's the offensive coordinator, and it's just like I think that may be too much too soon. I say give him another year wherever if they get a new coach and they don't retain him, give him a couple of years as a coordinator and then elevate him as coach. Not saying the Cowboys, but wherever he goes, get that time spent.
Yeah. I mean, I think he has a decent, I'm not going to say a great offensive mind. I've seen some of the plays that he ran in Dallas. They actually worked for the most part. They did pretty good.
Until Jason Garrett went and took the damn play calling duties back. You saw how conservative and shitty they were down the stretch.
Right. So I think he'll be okay. But I think you're right, DJ. Another year under the belt, I think he'll be fine. I think the problem is that you have somebody like Jerry Jones who wants to be in football operations so bad. It may be a job that nobody really want to touch. I mean, you got to think about everything prior to Jason Garrett, when you had the Wade Phillips, and you had the Bill Parcells, and when you run guys like that off, it's like he was like basically had to have a yes man, and now it's part two. Like, do you need another yes man now? Because I don't think he learned his lesson. I think he's going to still want to be in football operations. I don't think it's going to be the best interest for the team.
Well, there's one guy that's out there. We all know who that guy is. Jay Gruden.
I would.
He is sitting out there for Jerry Jones to pick.
I would hate that.
That'd be a disaster.
It would be.
But if he's the ultimate yes man, he'll do whatever Jerry to ask him to do.
I mean, we're not. I mean, with that being said, we're just gonna have a bunch of more, other shows just talking about how bad the Cowboys is and not praising teams that are actually good. But
shoot,
you know how they
every single week that happens.
I mean, me personally, I'm just sick of talking about the Cowboys. That's just personally, it's just, to me, it's like, I'm not going to say they're relevant or irrelevant because these shows make them relevant just by talking about them. It's nothing to talk about. You have other teams that are out here that are better. Yeah, it's cool to celebrate because you're their rival. I get it. But I mean, there's 32 other teams that are, I'll say at least 17 of them are more interesting than them.
But if you're thinking about it, this particular subject, we're talking about coaching changes, and they found themselves in that realm. They found themselves in that realm for the last few years. They should have got. They should have got. I'm just saying, they're not 32 other teams that are thinking about changing their coaches right now. We're talking about teams and their coaching changes. So Dallas just happens to be middle to below 500 almost every single season with the same coach that's been ineffective each and every year is getting worse and worse and worse. So
when you're talking about coaching changes, I get it. I was just looking at the whole umbrella of just talking about them in general. You hear it all the time.
Yeah, but it comes.
You know what I mean?
I'm like NBA, like all sports have that one or two teams that they always talk about.
Absolutely not. Not as bad as the Cowboys. Not as
bad as
the Cowboys.
Not as bad. That's not true at all.
That's not true.
Give me a baseball team they talk about as bad.
The
Yankees, Red Sox.
Are you serious?
No.
You don't pay attention. That's the difference. You don't pay attention.
Yankees,
not as bad
Red Sox. They talk about the Dodgers, the Braves.
They talk about them a lot.
No.
Let me tell you how
in
bad
hockey,
it is.
they talk about the Bruins, the Penguins.
Let me tell you how bad it is. They will talk about them throughout. They'll talk about them as far as the teams in that season. The Cowboys are still on TV when this motherfucking June.
It's so are the Yankees.
Cowboys. No, but here's the thing.
No.
Here's another thing, though.
That's the thing. The baseball season be in June, and Cowboys get more play than the Yankees.
But what I'm saying is, when you're football centric, of course you're gonna hear mostly.
Okay. If you're football centric,
if you're multi centric like I am, you're gonna hear all of it.
It's not even just that. It's the fact that the reason that a lot of these teams that you're talking about that don't get talked about as much as the Cowboys, the reason you don't hear about them as much is because of the fact that baseball is not nearly as popular of a topic as football is. So of course you're gonna hear about the Cowboys year round. They love to talk about football, but it's not.
It's
more
relative
the Cowboys than the Yankees.
But see, this
who you hear about is relative to the individual.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, all right. I tell you what. I tell you what. And I don't want to promote this because they got a lot of views and a lot of listeners. Just go and download First Take or download the subscribe.
Because you got a freaking Cowboys fan on there,
right? You ever that's one source.
Now go to. You talk about those two. Now you go to the other ones. They do the same thing.
Okay.
Here's my thing. I'm not saying that the other ones don't get talked about. It's just the Cowboy stuff is nauseating because it's like nonstop on these networks.
The Cowboys are only nonstop on the networks because things happen with the Cowboys clearly way more than they happen with the Yankees in the offseason. Baseball has a relatively quiet offseason.
I got a question.
That's more the nature of the sport.
Do you think it is as bad as other football teams in the NFL?
The Patriots?
I think the Patriots should be talked about more than the Cowboys. I totally agree with that.
I don't think they should be. I think the Cowboys should be talked about every bit as much because they give us things to talk about. How bad?
See, that's what I'm saying. You're saying how bad every bit as much. Like they're like under other teams.
No, what I'm saying is, as far as how much press a team should get, I think is not based on whether they're good or bad. It's based on what they give us to talk about.
I don't think it's necessarily what they give us to talk about. I think they know. I think these shows know that who's watching, and I think that's what they do. I think it's based on
how boring those shows would be if they talked about each team evenly and kind of like there's always one or two teams that people like to talk about because they give you the most to talk about.
I personally think that it's become that way. I don't think it is that way. I think it's because like Bill said earlier, there's a Cowboys fan on one show and there's one person that like to troll the Cowboys on another show. So I think it's become that way. I don't think it's let's look at everything that's actually interesting in the news and let's go with that. They know where their bread and butter is.
But that's society as a whole.
Right.
The other thing is, it's not like they preconceive any of these topics about the Cowboys. The Cowboys create these topics.
Let's before we go to the playoffs and stuff. Let's really think about that. Yeah. You really think that these shows don't preconceive this stuff? I'm pretty sure
they don't, because every topic that they talk about is something that has happened concerning the Cowboys. It's not like they randomly pop up and say, so how do you think the Cowboys are going to do this year? Or at the end of the season when they're eliminated, well, how do you think the Cowboys are going to do next year? Everything that they pull is something that either Jerry Jones has said that's been a quotable, Dak Prescott's contract, Ezekiel Elliott's contract, how disappointing they've been during the season. Everything has been relevant about the Cowboys. It's not like they pulled them out of left field. I've seen times when they pulled the Lakers and Yankees out of left field and started talking about them for no damn reason.
I think their shows is highly premeditated, probably 2 and 3 days in advance. I truly believe that.
Well, they probably are, for TV because
right. That's what I'm saying. Right. And I think it starts with that particular team and it circles out to other stuff.
But the other thing is another reason why I would say that they're not oversaturated is because if you watch the NFL centric shows, they talk about the Cowboys way less than these other shows who just want viewers.
I agree with that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like if their own league isn't talking about them as much as these other people, that just shows that it's not really so much that the Cowboys are being talked about more than these other teams. It's just the fact that on those shows that are looking for just strictly views, that's what they're talking about. I mean, when you watch
and that's what I was saying. That's what I was talking about in the beginning.
Yeah, but I'm saying overall, the amount of coverage that you get on the Cowboys is no different than the MLB. It's just a matter of where you find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might be right.
Because I mean, you know how much talk I've seen about the Lakers and the Clippers compared to the Cowboys pretty much this entire season.
Really?
I've seen way more Lakers and Clippers talk. I've seen a lot of
I've seen a lot of Philly talk.
I've seen a lot of Philly talk, especially.
I don't really see that much of Milwaukee, even though they're top in the East right now. So
because it's Milwaukee.
What do you I mean? They tried to poo-poo that. They tried to poo-poo Milwaukee when they was damn near on their way to the finals last year. They really did. They really didn't want to talk about them then. And I'm like, yo, see this, and then see this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. It's like when you have these type of stories that are actually genuinely good sports stories, not because it's like borderline tabloid stuff. Right. Like when you have good sport, like I said in the podcast, probably like maybe 5-6 episodes ago, Kyler Murray, that's a damn good story in the sports realm. Right. Nobody thought this kid was going to be what he is, and he actually performed fairly well as a rookie. That's a legitimate sports story, but no, they'll talk about him every now and then. But I feel that they should do at least one episode based on him coming into the pros and actually performing. I mean, yeah, they had a losing season, but we all looked at them like we thought they were gonna be like the Bengals.
Well, I got one last. Oh God.
Well, you know what those producers would say to you? You want to lose your yeah, and it's obvious that the way the news works now, it's just for clicks. And you make money based off clicks and eyes and stuff like that. So you got to get the hottest topic on there.
Well, here's the other thing. I would even go as far as saying during the NFL season and before that, we've heard way more about the Browns than we've heard about the Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
and you know what? And now sit back with that for a second. What do the Browns and the Cowboys have in common?
Obviously,
controversial players
and controversial,
and really have very little to do with what's on the field.
The players are on the field though that are controversial. Like Odell Beckham, most of his stuff was on the field that he would do, whether it was a one-handed catch or he was fighting with the field goal post or whatever.
But what they did this year was rarely stuff that's happening on the field. They were talking about this dude's press conferences. Yeah. They were talking, you know what you see, Bill, you kind of see what I'm saying? It was like it's like what they've done now has made it more tabloid based instead of like, okay, let's talk about why the Browns are actually bad. No, let's talk about why they're backbiting each other, talking shit behind each other's back.
But that's why I would even argue the Browns is more egregious because of how much off the field shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like
this season, I agree. This season, I definitely agree. Like what King David just put in the chat. The Gardner Minshew is a good NFL story. Dude was a 6th-round pick before way above his expectations. I even though he's a
Jazz fan, he got his time.
Yeah, he did. He had like what?
Yeah, he got his like 15 minutes of fame.
He outlived any relevance anybody predicted for him.
Well, the coaching staff kind of did him in when they brought back Foles, and then the magic was gone, and when they tried to put it back in.
But all seriousness, if you really know the backstory of where Gardner Minshew came from, it is like a rags to riches story. I mean, dude was playing for Washington State, and he was about to quit football. And if it wasn't for Mike Leach, he wouldn't be in the NFL.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like I think about the NFL season. Like when I think about the NFL season, I really like this year. I don't think about Cowboys coverage. I mean, hell, they talked more about the Jaguars at one point than the Cowboys. And
Rams, the Rams too. The Rams got a lot of talk.
So the Cowboys, I get what you're saying. It's like after they've outlived their relevance, they kind of harp on it. Yeah.
My thing is, I think it's the fact that it's not necessarily talk about him a lot. It's just they talk about him for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
I can see that.
You know what I mean? And that's my issue with it. But now I got one more question before we go to we're gonna look at the playoffs and do a couple picks. Right. Jason Garrett, if he does leave the Cowboys, how much do we value him as a coach? I don't think he's a bad coach, to be quite honest. I don't
think he needs to go anywhere with expectations. That's the only thing I'd say. Go somewhere with no expectations, like the Bengals or somewhere like that.
I think if he goes to the Bengals, I think he needs to get out of the NFC East. Honestly, I think he needs to get out of the NFC East. I think he needs a really fresh start and actually be in a place where he can actually do something with his ideas. Because we all knew that what he was doing on the sideline was not a product of Jason Garrett. We all know that. So I really want to see what kind of coach he really is. So if he was to go to an AFC team, and actually, do something, I think he's a pretty average, maybe above average coach, because he don't seem like a bad guy. He seems like he can actually, motivate guys to play. It's just that we really don't know because look who his owner was. So right. I'm actually kind of curious to see what he will do.
Man, was Jason Garrett? What was his position before he became the head coach? Was he offensive coordinator?
He was OC.
I can see him going dropping down a notch to OC somewhere in the AFC.
Yeah. The only issue with that is that, unfortunately, it seems like every tenure that long is kind of built equally. Everybody kind of gets some sort of head coaching gig like right after they get released from wherever they are. And it would be good to, like you said, go back down to offensive coordinator for a year or so.
Okay, wait a minute. Jason Garrett played football in the NFL for 15 years.
Oh, yeah. He was a backup quarterback for the Cowboys.
Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But he was a quarterback coach in Miami, offensive coordinator at Dallas, and ever since then he was assistant head coach and from 2008 to 2010. And then from 2010 he was the head coach. This guy seems like he has a pretty good football mind. He just needs to use it. And I think he never had the chance to do
I think he needs to not have as much put on him. Like someone said earlier, he doesn't have to go. The next place he goes to has to have lowered minimal expectations. So I would say put him at offensive coordinator and just see what he comes. He can really just focus at that point.
Right.
I'm like, it's good to hand clap when you're the offensive coordinator, not when you're the head coach.
All right. Pull up
because you could be in the booth and clap.
Right. Pull up.
Let's do these playoffs.
Yeah, pull up the games, Bills. Let's talk about these playoffs.
I'm actually gonna keep track of this week. I'll actually keep track because Ravens Nation asked about that during the season. So we said for the playoffs, we'll keep track of
that's fine.
Who wins, I guess, week to week, quote unquote.
Yeah. Okay. That's
it's definitely easy to keep track of. And it's funny how they're doing it this year. All AFC games are going to be tomorrow, and all NFC games are going to be on Sunday.
Yep.
That's pretty neat.
All right, so the first game, Titans and the Patriots.
That's not the first game.
Ooh.
Well, it's the first game.
The first game he's picking.
On the list, it's like the first game that I'm looking at. It's not the first game of the day.
Hold on. What the hell?
Somebody buzzing. It's not me.
That's
somebody's phone vibrate. Oh.
Yeah, that's my boss calling me. He know he gets the dial tone. The hell am I? That's my boss calling me. He gets the dial tone quick. You better call me Monday. Shit, I'm off Monday. Call me when I get back to work.
So we need you to come in.
Negative.
So,
you said Titans and Patriots?
Yeah,
listen,
I don't know who to pick here.
This is a playoff game. And it still seems like it's a trap.
Fuck it, Tennessee for the upset.
It seems like it's a trap game for the Patriots.
I wouldn't even call it a trap game.
I
think that run game of Tennessee is going to be too much for New England.
Well, I'm going to say this. Good, though. I'm gonna say this. I don't think it's gonna have anything to do with the run game because I don't think that's really going to be the deciding factor.
Hold on one second.
Oh boy, now the boss left a voicemail.
No, he called for a good reason, so let me call him back real quick.
You say you better bring your whole ass into work.
Another youngin crashed the truck again.
Hold on a second. Hello?
I said the dynasty dies.
Yeah, what up?
Well, put your mic on mute because we can hear him.
Shut up, man. Hold on.
We can hear him. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He doesn't care.
Everybody listening.
Yeah, the 18th. That's what I needed off. Yeah, my son's birthday on the 17th, so we're having a party on the 18th. Yeah, man. Listen, man, you called me, but I thought you needed for something else, but I wasn't going to answer that phone. For real, boy, I thought you was going to need it for something. I was like, man, you have to call me Monday or something. I got my son right here, too. I'm doing my podcast right now, too, man. I was like, listen, man, I don't know, man. You might have to leave a message or something. No. Yeah, right, yeah. I forgot to send that to you, though. I'm going to put it on the phone right now. All right, man. Appreciate it. All right, later.
I hope there's no recording laws in South Carolina.
So. Oh no, he good. No. My boss is good. I thought
because in Maryland, if I were to pick up the phone, I had to get permission of the person. I would just mute my mic. But in Maryland, you have to get permission for the other person to be recorded.
Oh no,
I thought we got to change this podcast name from First in Framerates to Second in Scheduling or something.
Right. I asked for the day off.
The truck simulator.
I had to ask for the 18th off because my son's birthday party, and I forgot to tell him about it. And he texted me and asked me about it, so it's all good. Like I said about the Titans and Patriots, the Patriots defense is good. I'm not saying that they will stop the run, but they can be had because the Titans running game is so good. I want to pick the Patriots because of their prestige and they're pretty good at home in playoffs, but I feel like this could be a trap game for them, and the Titans could pull this off. Still picking Patriots. Though.
Oh, good.
I'm picking Patriots though.
So this is what I'll say. I've never seen a situation where our team is going into a game facing so many people that know our organization so well.
Well, that's true.
You got Mike Vrabel, you got Logan Ryan, you got Malcolm Butler.
I forgot that he's the coach, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So when you have you got Ryan Tannehill who played in the AFC East for how many years?
Yeah, and he was always. I mean, not only that, like we talked about the Dolphins. We talked about this before even DJ came on the podcast. The Dolphins always find a way to get one game over the Patriots every year, and they did it last week. And you playing against Tannehill, who was a part of those games throughout the years.
They got Deion Lewis,
yeah, who
can tell them a lot offensively about how they're going to try to integrate James White. So there's a lot of caveats to this. As much as I want to pick the Patriots, and as much as in my head I'm telling myself if we get through this first round, I think we make it back to the Super Bowl, this is a round I don't think we make it through. I honestly think that unless somebody really steps up, and on offense that is, I don't see it, bro. I'll take the Titans in this one.
Yeah, this will definitely be a week to remember the Titans. So
like I said, I want
Titans strong.
Like I said, I won't be surprised if the Titans win, but it's hard to bet against the Patriots at home. But yeah. I feel you on that. I'm not against picking the Titans.
This reminds me so much of when the Jets came in and faced us the last time we played in the wild card game.
Right.
The Jets came in and trampled us at home, first round.
But see, that's just like what Ravens Neighbor said in the chat. He said, you recall one year, like 2015, the Dolphins sacked Brady 7 times. It's like, for some reason, the Dolphins could be like 0-11. And if the Patriots got to play the Dolphins that week, that'll be the one game that the Dolphins play lights out, or they'll find a way to beat the Patriots. It happens all the time.
Or it'll be like that one year the Ravens went in there and beat them. So
that happened a couple times.
Yeah. So.
It's just like for some reason the Dolphins just have their number for one game, not throughout the division, but just that one game they just get them.
Pooh, that's not going to happen. If the Patriots make it past the first round, I think they make it to the Super Bowl. And if they face the 49ers, I think they beat the 49ers. I don't think they lose to any team if they make it through this first round. But this first round is just, it's so important. Like,
I don't know, man. Them Ravens, man, it's hard.
I feel you, but honestly,
and I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's just damn Ravens, man.
I feel you.
Like
if there's any team I see beating the Patriots, it would be the Ravens. But if you make it to a Super Bowl, like I just feel like if Belichick and Brady make it to the Super Bowl, it just seems like they figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah. No, I don't see it. I'm with you as well, Pooh. I don't see the Ravens winning it because I still think I don't care what anybody say. Like
the Niners,
the Ravens Nation. You know, y'all beat the Niners on the last second field goal. Y'all were at home. I still contest this. If this was at San Francisco or if that was on a neutral field, y'all don't have that same success. I just don't believe it.
I don't know about that.
I don't believe it. I don't
know about that.
I somewhat agree with. You.
You got to think about it. That was like a last second field goal. It's not like they were world beaters. It's like the same thing with the It was like the same thing with the Seahawks.
I don't know. That Ravens team is built differently than teams of the past.
Listen, the 49ers and the Ravens are basically built the same except for Lamar Jackson. They're basically built the same.
The difference.
And you see what happened. They won on a field goal at the last second. It wasn't
here's the other thing. The other thing is the fact that when you look at the Seahawks and the Ravens offensively, and you look at how the 49ers basically went in there and I don't say shut them down, but when they really needed to, they made a big stop on the road. That team is very battle tested already, and
they beat the Saints.
The Raiders, I mean, the Ravens, yeah, they beat the Saints. So, I mean,
and the time that they lose, they did look, the times that the 49ers lost their games, they lost a field goal against the Seahawks, they lost on the last second touchdown by the Falcons, and they lost the last second field goal to the Ravens. It's not like you're about to go in there and just say, okay, I know that the 49ers are going to lose this game. It's just not like that.
In Ravens Nation, here's another thing you got to remember, bro. I know you're riding high with your Ravens. I feel you, bro. Be a fan. That's great. You got to remember, every week now is a 1 week season, bro.
Right.
These teams are coming in. You are not going to be able to run the ball the way you were doing it during the regular season. You're not.
Everything's going to be tighter.
Those receivers are going to have to be able to get open against.
This is the thing, Bills. We're not trying to. I can't speak for everybody here. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to poo-poo the Ravens. I'm not. Yeah. I'm just saying keep your reality in check because it's not like the Ravens just ran through the 49ers. Same thing with if the 49ers play the Saints again. It's not like the 49ers are going to automatically beat the Saints because how they won that game. Don't get me wrong. That was a hell of a play by their tight end Kittle. But it was like, look at the score. They lost like about 4 points.
Are we gonna forget about the fact that the Ravens only beat the Bills by 7? When Ravens Nation was talking so much trash about, it's gonna be a 3-score game, we're gonna cook them. The Bills won't be able to run the ball, bro. This is not gonna be an easy trip to the Super Bowl the way you're thinking it is. It's really not,
especially on the AFC on both sides. I'm not just saying AFC on both sides. Yeah, the AFC and NFC look very tight, so it's gonna be real compelling. Like I said. I see that it's hard to beat the Ravens, and I'm saying that against the Patriots. I just know how inept the Patriots are on offense. They can do it because the Patriots are the Patriots. But it's just like you're looking at some of these teams, it's like the only I don't know factor is like if you're the Ravens, 49ers, if you're the Saints, and now I'll probably even put the Packers in there. It's like those 4 teams. It's like you don't know what you're going to get. It's not like either team is like going to blow another team out. And even in some cases, don't let Josh Allen learn how to throw the fucking football. If he learns how to throw the ball and be consistent, that team could be a dark horse to win.
Okay, but Ravens Nation, you're talking about they came back late, but the point is they came back.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter what you do. Hey, look at Tim Tebow. What Tim Tebow didn't do shit in the first 3 and ended up winning the game. So it doesn't really matter. What you do is how you finish.
It's just like that. That's a moot point. Like, we dominated for big deal. You dominated for 3 quarters.
Bills. My Falcons dominated for 3 quarters. Right. Man, look where they got us. They got us on memes all over the place with 28-3.
Mind you, he's talking about they dominated, and I got the scoreboard up right now. They scored 3 in the first quarter. The Bills held them 3 points in the first quarter. They held them the second, 7 in the third, 7 in the second, and 7 in the fourth. You got 3 touchdowns in 3 quarters, bro. You weren't dominating that.
I'm dead serious about this, and I will stick with this. Don't let Josh Allen do a Joe Flacco on y'all. Because if he does, I'm dead serious. If he gets that accurate and actually know how to throw the ball, the Bills are winning the Super Bowl.
Don't let the Bills challenge these dudes at the line and make them really get open and play off football and make some tight ass throws and some tight. I mean, like Josh Allen's way better now than he even was in week 14 when he played y'all.
He said it was 24-8, like 20.
Oh my god.
Like 28-3 ain't shit though.
What did the game end? What did the game end, bro?
Hey Bills, he said it was 24-8, like 28-3 wasn't shit.
Right. Yo, he said it was 24-8, but the game ended 24-17. So that means that they came back on y'all, right? What are we talking about right now? All right, so anyway, let's get back to the the last thing I'll say about the Patriots. This is the last thing I'll say. The last thing I'll say about the Patriots is this: I have seen worse offensive teams, like as far as the Patriots are concerned, in my lifetime that have made it to the Super Bowl. Hell, the last Giants team that we lost to in the Super Bowl, our offense was complete and utter shit, and we still made it there. So, like I said, we make it through this round. I can see us making a Super Bowl, but I'm not predicting us to make it through this round. So there's that. The next game is the Bills and the Texans. I'm gonna take the Bills here.
I kind of don't trust. I still don't trust. What's his name? Number 4. Deshaun Watson. I don't trust him at home as much as I do on the road, so I will not be surprised.
I agree with that.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills win. I'm taking the Bills as well.
I gotta remember JJ Watt's coming back. That might be an emotional boost more so than a physical boost.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got Houston winning this. I don't trust Buffalo as a squad in the playoffs.
My only problem is if he gets accurate with his passes, you're talking about a totally different team. That team is very dangerous at their quarterback because he can already he's very mobile. And he's very good at running the ball with his, he looks like he can't run, but he can. But if he gets an arm and actually throw the ball and be successful at it, they're a very, very dangerous team.
I think the issue is going to be the fact that the Bills have cornerbacks that can challenge the Texans at the line. And other than DeAndre Hopkins, who do you really have getting open on a consistent basis against man?
But the Bills defense is that good too, so
that's what I'm saying. And then you're not gonna really be able to run the ball that effectively against that front. So yeah, I'm taking the Bills. So DJ, you're rolling alone on the Texans there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the Bills. I think the Bills will advance.
Okay, and then the NFC side on Sunday we got the Vikings and the Saints. Damn, there's gonna be a lot of fucking road upsets here. I got the Vikings.
No,
I'm taking Saints.
I'm picking Saints. Kirk Cousins has to show up. He has to in order for the Vikings to win. It's not even going to matter if Dalvin Cook is playing or not. If they get a run game going, Kirk Cousins has to show up. This is his second time in the first round of the playoffs, and he definitely needs to show up for them to win. So I'm picking the Saints.
I think the Vikings defense is good enough to stop the Saints, but I'm taking the Saints because I think just like what DJ said, I don't think Kirk Cousins will show up, but if he does, they will win, but I just think the Saints will pull it off.
I think this will be more about the Saints being choke artists than Kirk Cousins in the end.
I can agree with that. That's why I say when you're playing the defense as good as the Vikings, it's prime for them to choke. But I think that the Saints will pull it
off. Then the second game is the Seahawks and the Eagles. Ooh, I really want to take the Eagles here, but
I'm not. The Seahawks will kill them.
Oh
wow!
Damn.
Really?
Such disrespect. Like it's a regular season game.
No Lane Johnson, no Brandon Brooks.
I think the Seahawks is going to win by at least maybe 14-7.
Well, remember, they have Marshawn Lynch now, so
well, that's what I'm saying. No Lane Johnson, no Brandon Brooks. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they got a lot of too. I think the Seahawks go in there and win by 2%.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks winning this one.
Yeah.
It's about time to get the NFC East out of here. I'm like,
don't get me wrong. I think Wynn's done a great job with the little bit of pieces, but you're talking about a team that's pretty much complete on both sides of the ball when it comes to the Seahawks.
I'll take the Seahawks, but man,
it's gonna be rough though. It's not gonna be
I don't
wild
see any blowout.
It's gonna be rough.
No, I'll take it. I'll take it. 14 points.
That home crowd is going to carry the Eagles for that entire game. It's not because remember the Eagles are playing with a lot of second string, third string like players at wide receiver and maybe a lineman here and there. So we'll see.
We'll see. I'm like I said, I'll be a little generous. I'll say 10 points. I'll say they'll win by 10.
Damn. That's a little too much.
Those are the picks. I'm excited. This is the first time I've really been excited about the playoffs in a while. It seems like they're pretty wide open in the AFC, pretty wide open in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever Super Bowl we get for the most part will be, a pretty good one, at least on paper. So
you would think.
Yeah.
You would think.
I think everybody's looking at the Ravens and the 49ers as the Super Bowl. I don't really think it's that cut and dry.
No.
I don't think it's that cut and dry, but I mean, they are the front runners. I will give them that.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mahomes in the Super Bowl, but he has plenty of time. So once you start incorporating these teams with a bye,
let me tell you something about the Chiefs. Honestly, it's nice to see him in the Super Bowl, but man, their defense, man, I still think
their defense think been hot as one and done. Like once they get in,
I'll say this.
I think they're one and done this year.
I ain't gonna say their defense has been hot. I just say their defense has been better. I'll say that they've been better.
I'll make an early. Like I said, I think they're one and done. I think the early prediction is whoever they face, whoever their opponent's going to be the following week, they're going to beat them. Like the Chiefs are going to go down. So you can already lock me in for that too.
The Chiefs get the higher seed, whoever's left.
Doesn't matter. That seed is going to win.
They get the higher seed, so it doesn't bode in their favor.
I think the Chiefs have every bit the chance of every other AFC team to go.
Hell no, they don't.
I think they definitely do. I think they definitely do.
Fuck that.
I think they definitely do.
If it wasn't for Tyrann Mathieu, the motherfuckers would be out.
Their defense has been playing well the past 4 weeks.
Yeah, but we're talking about the regular season defense versus the playoff defense.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is the defense getting hot at the right time of the season.
Yeah, you talking about a defense that last year put Eric Berry on Gronk for no reason.
Hey, like I said, they didn't get hot. They got better than what they was. It's like they were like borderline trash. Now they're just below average.
Damn.
Nah, you forced it, bro. You forced it.
Clemson LSU, man, national championship coming up.
So that's
who are we taking, and what are the X factors?
Wait a minute, well, we still got a whole week before this game. Yeah, because it's not until the 13th. When you said it was next week, I was like, it's the week after next.
Yeah, it is. I thought it was this week. Yeah,
we can talk about it both weeks.
We
can talk about it.
No, I don't mind talking about it, but I was saying let's do some picks because I thought it was like on Monday, but no, it's next Monday.
Oh yeah, we want to do the picks. Let's just talk about
we'll talk about it. That's fine.
Talk about the game itself.
Yeah, I really thought it was this Monday. Seriously.
Nah, it's not. I don't know why they wait 2 weeks, but
yeah, they did. They never did that.
Yeah, this is the first time it's been a 2-week layoff in between.
Did we talk about the game? We did talk about the
we talked about the layoff.
Yeah, we did.
No, I mean,
we were talking about it in terms of like I know I was talking about it in terms of like the kids and the free time and how they get in trouble, and then you wind up kids getting suspended and they can't play in the bowl games. You know,
I mean, did we talk about the playoff games though?
We did.
We did. We talked about the picks. I can't remember who we picked though, but I do remember us picking.
Well, my pick is out. Ohio State lost, and I don't even know who I picked.
Did we do the picks? I don't think we did.
I think we did.
We went through. We did the Final Four pick.
Yeah, because I know I picked LSU, and I don't know if I picked Clemson or Ohio.
Well, either way, I know I picked this game.
Yeah, I picked LSU, but I picked Ohio State on the other side, and
I can't remember who I picked.
That's still some bullshit. Like I said, I didn't have a dog in the fight, but refs took over that game.
So, I think what we're looking at here is, well, first off, 2 dominant defenses.
Right.
Obviously, I mean, probably the 2 best quarterbacks in the nation. I don't think anybody's really going to debate that. Pretty good run games on both sides. So, man, this game is really evenly matched, honestly.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's. I don't think LSU is as good as advertised. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I don't think LSU is going to run through Clemson like he did.
No. I'm not even sure they'll win.
I'll say that. So, I think it's going to be a really good game. I think this may be, I say mid-scoring, probably 30s, maybe 20s. I don't think it's going to be anybody in the 50s. I would be highly surprised if that's the case.
Do we see LSU getting the pressure on Trevor Lawrence that Ohio State did? Because I don't think we do. I don't think I do.
LSU's strength is in their secondary, so I don't think so.
Right, because, I mean, they were getting a lot of pressure on Trevor Lawrence in that first half. I don't see LSU getting that. It seems like their secondary, like you said, is the strength of their the strength of the team.
Because one of the DBs was hurt, and he's coming back for this game for LSU. So
the front played pretty well last game. But the thing with that was that they were getting these short fields with Oklahoma. So they were scoring pretty easily, pretty quickly.
You also have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is able to make plays.
Yeah.
And that's why the score went up. It wasn't necessarily because, the defense was actually doing their job. It's like, look, what happened was they did enough to stop, the passing game because the other team had no choice but to pass.
Well, and they had a quarterback that couldn't throw the damn ball.
Well, that's true. I knew Jalen Hurts couldn't throw when he was in Alabama. I don't know why everybody thought he could.
Hey, look, you preached to the choir with that one.
Yeah, I've been knew that. It's like that's why I was so frustrated with like how the hell Georgia let this man come in and beat them in the SEC championship. Like I don't get it. I don't. But I don't give a damn about the Bulldogs. I'm still waiting for us to play them. They're scared to play us. We try to schedule them, and they want, we'll play Indiana State instead. They're like, yeah, because you don't want that ass whooping, bitches.
Damn.
Yo, I'm telling you, Georgia Southern took them to overtime in Athens. After that, they didn't want to schedule shit with us no more, bitches.
I just laugh at like all the Jalen Hurts apologists that is like, well, look at his stats this year. It was the fucking Big 12. All the Big 12 teams have gotten destroyed in this bowl season. They've all been obliterated for the most part.
Everybody put up big stats in the Big 12. If you don't, something wrong with you. You know? I mean, you got to think about it. Even what's his name? Who was the backup to RG3 that played the following year? Bryce Petty?
Yeah, Bryce Petty.
He put up numbers in the Big 12. You know what I'm saying? Like,
everybody put some numbers in the Big 12. It's like, so everybody that was talking like Jalen Hurts is going to come in and make this, a competitive game, I'm like, him and what fucking arm?
Right.
He's the same Jalen Hurts he was in Alabama. He's just wearing a different shade of fucking red.
And I mean, I think with Clemson, you have a better team. You have a better running game. You have a better passer. You have some receivers that can get open. And even if they're not open, they can physical enough to get the ball away from the defensive backs. So, and you have a defense that's always been a good defense. So I think it's going to be a good game. Like I said, we're going to reserve our picks until the next. What do they play Monday? That follow. We got
next Monday.
We got 2 podcasts until then. So we'll reserve that. So. Before we get to David Stern, what do you think about this college football season overall? I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all been following it. What do you think about the season? Yay, nay, or?
I really haven't been following college football like that. Florida State hasn't been doing anything for quite some time, so
y'all lost to Western Kentucky. I'm like, what the fuck? How that?
They have to find some form of stability. It's not going to matter who they recruit. They have to find stability in their whole program. It's not even just like at the head coaching spot. I feel like they have to get a new athletic director. I don't know who's in there now, and it's just a circus right now. So.
I mean, I think that's a really good job to get if you get the right person in there. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got the facilities, you got the location, you got the prestige. I mean, who wouldn't want to get, Florida State back to where it used to be? It's like prime for it. It's like it's almost like the Cowboys job without the stupid ass owner. You know what I mean? It's just that good to be at Florida State. As far as I go, I think the season overall has been really good. I've been following Georgia Southern. That's basically been my college football. I think that when we lost to Minnesota in the final seconds of that game, it kind of set the tone for the rest of the season. I mean, I knew we went to LSU. I knew we wasn't going to win that game, but we should have beat Minnesota. And, that would have been a big, big turnaround for what we already have going on. I mean, I think we recruited pretty well, but we ended up going 7-6. It kind of sucks. We had a lot of offensive linemen hurt. Still no excuse, though, but it still hurts that, Minnesota goes on to be a top 10 team. They beat Auburn in their bowl, actually convincingly, and they actually beat Penn State. They beat all these good teams that are actually good, and, we were like right there. It just shows you how good our program actually is. It just sucks that we did not beat them, so. But overall, the season was actually pretty good. I'm actually, I was entertained. What about you, Bills?
Yeah, I think we saw the emergence of a lot of NFL ready players on the offensive side of the ball, from Jonathan Taylor to Justin Herbert. Played exceptional against Wisconsin.
Hey, that receiver out of Georgia, George Pickens, is pretty good too.
He's a monster. You got the Tuas, obviously, but Lawrence, who can't come out yet, and Burrow, are 2 quarterbacks that can go in the NFL and immediately make a difference, it seems. Then you got Fromm, who's a question mark, and like I said, Herbert. It's going to be an interesting draft next year for quarterbacks, but I think both of them, Burrow and Herbert, can make an immediate impact. Jonathan Taylor is a guy to watch out for. He seems like his game really fits the next level.
DeAndre Swift is another running back that just declared too.
Yep, Swift. You got Chase Young coming out.
Yeah. It's another running back that's coming out too. J.K. Dobbins out of Ohio State.
That's another one. So, yeah, you got a lot of offensive talent that played really well in the big games. I think the biggest question mark, like I said, is Jake Fromm. I don't know what to make of him, honestly, from game to game. I can't. I can't figure out,
because one game he looks like an NFL ready quarterback. Next thing you know, he looks like he needs another year of college.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know what to make of him. So it's going to be interesting to see what situation he's drafted into.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think overall really good season. It's nice to see Alabama not in the playoff and see their fans shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, what a relief that was.
Yeah, I think it's all long overdue. We need to see somebody different.
And for them to lose the way they lost the game. It's still priceless.
Right. So it's good to see that. Bills, I know you're more a basketball guy than I am. I'm gonna let you take the wheel on David Stern and his passing.
Yeah. You're talking about a guy that arguably saved the NBA during that era. And of course he was assisted by Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and later Michael Jordan. But I mean, you look at a guy that really changed the way the NBA operated. I didn't agree with a lot of the things he did, but nonetheless, I think he left the game in a really good place. And, it's sad for his family and everybody who knew him. But I think his legacy will be one of, they'll look back and it'll be a positive one. He was the commissioner during the golden era of the NBA. The era that everybody remembers most fondly. So, my condolences to his family and friends. And, just a sad day in NBA, honestly.
Yeah. I look back at some of the things that he's actually done when he was trying to, do the dress code thing and giving people and making sure that players were available to the media and some other things that he tried to put in place so the NBA looked more like a professional league, because in the 80s it was like, it wasn't as close to professional as it is now. I mean,
worse than the 70s. Half the damn league was on crack.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And then and the whole Len Bias situation kind of put a stop to that, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, that hurts a lot of people locally here in the DMV.
Yeah,
that was the next big thing. I'm like, if you think about it, Len Bias hadn't have done that. Michael Jordan, who? It would have been him. It would have been him versus Jordan between Boston versus Chicago. That would
Celtics fans. Yeah, Celtics fans think about it a lot too.
Yeah, because he was drafted by the Celtics, right?
Yeah. Larry Bird was. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been nasty, bro.
He was hurt when that happened.
That would have been nasty. Just come to think about it, Bias, Bird, Parrish.
Yeah.
He would have been straight.
But yeah, you think about one thing that happened. I mean, I guess every commissioner in the NBA has had some sort of bad scandal happen under their watch, except for Adam Silver as of yet. I guess the China thing kind of, but that's kind of withered away. But, when you think David Stern, of course, part of his legacy is going to be that entire Tim Donaghy thing that happened.
That and
and Bill, your favorite thing that probably happened under him, that mysterious Jordan suspension.
Oh, well,
playing baseball for like a year and a half.
Of course, that. I think the thing about his is more like, yeah, there were scandals, but he handled it the right way.
Oh yeah, he handled it very well.
The way he handled the Jordan situation, and we're not even talking about the Magic Johnson HIV thing. Like when that was a big deal, when people were literally scared to like really play basketball at one point, he handled that very well. The Tim Donaghy thing was like kind of like blindsided him, but even with that, I think he handled it to the point where people didn't even look at the NBA funny. Even when Tim Donaghy, pretty much put out his story, it was like, yeah, your dirty ass was cheating, but I'm gonna still watch these games. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think overall,
before you go, Bill,
like
let's say if that happened in baseball and football, that could have possibly took down the league for a couple of years. Could you imagine something like that happened under, Robert Goodell's watch?
Great
God!
You kind of see what I'm saying?
The Ray Rice situation started that.
It almost did it. You see exactly. So if you had you found out the replacement refs was already bad as it is.
Oh
Find
God!
Find out that the actual refs were actually betting on games. You could have had a setback because Roger Goodell just wasn't the type that can handle something like that. David Stern did a great job of handling situations.
And I think more importantly, he realized that a couple of things. One, it's a players' league. It has to be a players' league in order for casual fans to come in. They need somebody to attach to. They need somebody to say, okay, I don't care about the rest of these teams, perhaps, but this guy I have to watch. So that's where the Michael Jordans came in. And like I said, everybody thinks I say that, they think it's a knock when I talk about Michael Jordan the way I do, as far as like, how hyperbolic they talked about him back in them days. But it's what they had to do. They had to build a star. They had to build a larger-than-life character, and he understood that. Same with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. They understood, look, we need these games live on television. We don't need to be having our NBA Finals, the championship of our league, to be on tape delay.
You gotta understand. When he first came in the league, that's how it was. He wanted to change that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he understood that it was a players' league. It's still a players' league. I think he was a bit more optics driven as a commissioner than Adam Silver is. Adam Silver kind of has an unapologetic feel about the league, where it's like he doesn't really so much care about how people perceive the league from the perspective of
I think it's the opposite. I think Adam Silver have a little bit of SJW in him.
I don't know. I think
well, he did make that one statement about I don't know, what was it about the coaching staff, or was it the referees, where it was like
the owner or the governor thing.
Well, yeah, that was stupid.
That's a time that's like sort of like a going with the times bullshit, whatever. But I'm talking about as far as like overall how he acts as the commissioner of the league. He really is into the players being individualistic and being able to show up to work in a comfortable fashion. Not you have to show up and wear a fucking suit and a tie and all that bullshit.
To an extent, I don't agree with that. I did like the fact how David Stern had them coming to the games in suits. Only for the. I mean, I understand like after the game, if you want to wear what you want to wear, like or whatever the case may be. Not press, even in press conferences, whatever, you still got on your uniform. But I think with the three-piece suits coming in the game, I think it actually shows a level of professionalism that some younger kids can. At the end of the day, they can relate to regardless, because that's their favorite player. So I'm there for that, because I understand you want to wear what you want to wear, but the stuff that Russell Westbrook used to wear, like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, really, it was a little bit over the top. I don't want to see you got all this money in the world, you're wearing like a bed sheet and some raggedy pants to come to the game. It's just.
Well, that was the 2000s that they really did that all in.
Yeah, true. Bills jumped.
Yeah, because they were coming in with the what was that one song? In my white tee, and it was this big oversized bed sheet that people were wearing as a t-shirt.
Right. Bills just dropped. I don't know what happened to him. He got sniped.
Uh-oh.
Got him. He's back. Okay, there he is.
My fault. Fucking Wi-Fi just randomly shut off.
You said your wife said something. What?
Iran already going with the attacks. Cyber attacks. Right? So here we go.
I know, right? But no, I mean, it's just.
I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get the identity thing, but it's like I think there's somewhat of a time and place where I did love watching the guys coming in their suits. I thought it was a level of professionalism, and like it was somewhat of a privilege to be an NBA player, and it showed that professionalism. I did like that.
I think it was because of the 2000s. I swear, the way they were coming in 2000s, it was like they were coming in off the street, and it's nothing against the streetwear, but it's just like we're not in the streets anymore.
Well, what the other thing is I think David Stern looked at the pushback that people had at Allen Iverson being the face of the league, and that was the beginning of getting rid of that.
Yeah, I can agree. I can agree with that.
I will agree with that too, because Allen Iverson was at the forefront, and it's like he really didn't do anything wrong. It's just
he didn't.
He was just himself. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Like I said, I don't have a problem with them the way they come to the games now.
I have a problem with some of this stuff now. Some of that stuff is sus.
I put it like this. I don't have the problem with the idea of it, but some of the clothes that they're wearing is out of space. But I did like I said,
out of airspace.
I did like them coming to the games in their suits. I thought that was pretty cool, honestly. But I'm trying
there was one thing that David Stern I didn't even know happened. He was being interviewed by Jim Rome, and Rome was asking him about the fixers in for the NBA draft lottery, which I think we kind of talked about in passing about it being fixed. And he was like, "You stopped beating your wife yet?" I remember that. I remember that. And then the guy was like, Jim Rome was like, "Well, I don't think that's fair to even talk about." And David Stern was like, "Oh, that's interesting." Because I just said the same thing when you asked me about the draft. I was like, I don't think that's not fair to talk about.
Like that, seriously, like there's no right or wrong answer to that question. Do you beat your wife? It's like it's nothing you can say to like get yourself out of under that umbrella. It's like
right,
it's like you can't say yes, no, or whatever. He's like, you know what? You're just fucked up.
So another thing we have to talk about is how much the league expanded under his tenure too. You know, they added about 3 or 4 expansion teams.
Yeah.
Let's see, Toronto, Vancouver.
Yep.
Yeah, they were actually pretty adamant about players from overseas as well.
Yep. Toronto, Vancouver, Charlotte. They moved changed the branding. Yeah,
they moved Charlotte, and what was it? Who was in? They moved them initially to New Orleans.
No.
Or was it Oklahoma?
Charlotte
moved them.
No. Charlotte.
No, because I'm saying Charlotte moved during that.
Charlotte moved to Oklahoma. No. Damn it.
Okay. The Charlotte Hornets moved to New Orleans for a year. Charlotte didn't have a team at all. Then they brought the Charlotte Bobcats back.
And the Bobcats got his name back. The Oklahoma City team was
they were Seattle.
Hold on, wait a minute.
What?
Didn't the
because they were the New Orleans Hornets.
No. Didn't the Charlotte Hornets play in Oklahoma City at one point?
No,
because I can picture Chris Paul with the Oklahoma City Hornets jersey on.
No, OKC, all the Seattle players went straight to OKC.
I do know that. So why did Chris Paul have an Oklahoma City jersey that looks like a Hornets jersey? I know that's out here. I know I'm not tripping.
No, they were the New Orleans Hornets, but that was after they had moved, and then the Bobcats.
You know what? When he was playing in New Orleans, isn't that when the flood occurred?
Yeah, Katrina.
And they moved. And then they were playing Oklahoma City because of the flooding.
Yeah,
that's why.
Katrina happened. That's what it was. Okay,
yeah.
I know I wasn't tripping. I had to think about that.
I was thinking about it too. I did initially say they were in Oklahoma City. It was like they were in Oklahoma City for a reason because the team was New Orleans. They were the New Orleans Hornets.
I remember Chris Paul wearing an Oklahoma City jersey, but it looked like a Charlotte Hornets jersey. That's what I was wondering.
So let me just dig into my conspiracy theory hat just for a second here, okay? Because I'm reading
put
this
on your tinfoil hat.
Yeah, everybody put in tinfoil hats because I'm reading this here, and it says, Adam Silver when he retired, David Stern, he said Adam Silver called him one of the founders of the modern sports marketing. Now, if we think about all the dynasties that happened under his watch, and then we think about like this era now. There was a lot of fixing going on back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a lot of keep Jordan on top going on back then. There was a lot of keep the Lakers and Celtics on top going on back then.
Didn't the draft go from televised to non-televised?
Non-televised. Yep,
it did.
The lottery went at first it was untelevised, and then they said, well, we'll figure out a way to rig this.
No,
in front of people.
No, they televised the lottery, but they won't show you the probability balls.
Now they did it even worse, where now I think they pick like behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and
then they come out and reveal it. Yeah,
they come out and reveal it. Right, they do everything behind closed doors.
You know, it's funny because it's actually more. You know, it's funny. It's actually more interesting to view the draft in NBA 2K in the offseason for my league than it is in a real life NBA. I'm like, you have your probabilities, and then that is funny for my league is more for the video game is more appropriate to not have something shown, and then you just see random picks based on probability versus in real life. I need to see the whatever they did beforehand, and they draw from that. I need to see that just to know it's not fixed.
Yeah.
I'm reading.
I think that's something that we've been wanting a long time ago to see transparency in that.
Yeah, it says 2007, Mr. Stern was dealing with one of the most difficult challenges of his stewardship when FBI investigation revealed that Tim Donaghy had bet on games which he had officiated. Mr. Stern also remained a pariah in Seattle for his role in allowing the Supersonics to relocate.
Oh, yeah, that stings because I wasn't a fan of the Sonics, but when the Bulls went to the finals and they played the Sonics, you couldn't pick a better place to play an NBA championship at.
Then he answered a question about vetoing that trade.
Oh, yeah.
And then he said, I did it because I was protecting the then Hornets. No team sells or trades a future Hall of Famer without the owner signing off, and I was the owner's rep. He said that he didn't do a great job of explaining it at the time. No, let's call it what it was. You
rejected
knew
the trade.
that you rejected the trade because of the fact that an entire fan base would be alienated and have no reason to watch basketball. Call it what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want to call it that because that would be looked at as, well, shit, that's halfway rigging the fucking league. You're overriding a trade that will make LA a clear contender. Now, of course, there's a lot of controversy about, well, look what trade ended up getting Pau Gasol to the Lakers. Who the fuck would make that trade? He's talking about trading a Hall of Famer. You traded Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown.
Right.
Oh, God.
So that was sort of, in my opinion, a makeup call. Like, well, I shouldn't have overrode that trade. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think a lot of, and then of course there are the crazy penalties he handed down for the brawl at the Palace. Some guys got 70-something fucking games.
I'm not gonna say that the penalties wasn't justified, but I wasn't mad at him.
A season long, bro.
That whole scene was crazy.
Yeah, it was
like
insane.
he had to do something. He had to do something.
And that's the thing behind it. It wasn't like that. Wasn't necessarily justified. You got to understand that something like that really never happened to that scale. So it's like it was gonna be jacked up either way.
Yeah,
I tell you what was crazy, and Bill, as you saw this, IT getting ejected in the first minute.
I saw that bullshit just now.
You know what? Right there, I'm glad you said that. I want to talk about that on Tuesday.
Okay,
not just IT, but the rise of fans thinking that they can do shit like this.
Oh yeah.
I was going to do that this episode, but I was like, nah, I was going to throw that on Tuesday.
No, wait a minute. Didn't we kind of talk about that?
We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah,
we talked about it a little bit, but it's like it's still like not necessarily ongoing, but it's like getting worse.
Well, in this situation with IT, it was the fact it was a play on the
sideline. He means the one
that
happened tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what happened? He's getting tied up with Carmelo. And they're running. The ref is right there. They're running into the ref. It looked like he just reached out so he wouldn't fall. And the ref, takes the brunt of it. And then the ref takes it as, "Oh, you touched me. You out of here."
What? So like that Eastern Michigan quarterback.
Joe, did he do that in front of Ted Leonsis? No, that wasn't Ted in the front row, but
y'all didn't see when Mike Glass punched that ref, right?
No, you know what? No, he didn't punch the ref. He flicked. No. I saw that in slow motion. He hit the brim of the hat. He flinched like he did like an entire flop. What the hell just happened?
I'm watching this IT video. I don't know, bro.
What about him at the end?
IT shoved. He pushed him, bro. Now look, I get it. It might be soft, but he pushed him. He pushed that ref. He definitely pushed that ref.
Not enough to get an ejection. Maybe attack,
bro.
Maybe attack. Not enough where he's pushing him. Nah.
I don't know,
That's
bro.
that's because the ref standing right there, and I could see IT being frustrated, and he's like,
I mean,
and then at the same time, he's being pushed towards the ref.
But you can't touch the refs, and he made it clear he was pushing him.
Get the fuck out the way.
Well,
he's standing over there like.
DJ, it'd be different if he held his hands up to like brace or maybe hold the ref so he can hold himself up. He literally pushed the ref.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. He can't.
Come on, you can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
That's soft. I would have given him a tap.
Soft.
It is soft.
Yeah,
I would have given him a tap.
DJ, I get what you're saying, but you gotta understand. It's not him pushing another player. He's pushing
but he's being pushed into the
but
ref.
That's not
the
no,
situation
that's
at hand. What do you expect? He placed his hand initially on the ref,
DJ,
and then
that's not why. That's not why he did it, though. You're saying he got pushed into the ref, and I'm telling you that's not why he
did get pushed into the ref. But what I'm saying is the result was a transference of energy into the ref.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I saw. I saw him get close up on the ref, and I saw his arm.
He pushed him. His arm extended.
All you saw was him get close, like he did it on his own.
He extended his hands.
They were on the sideline. There were fans right there on the sideline.
Okay.
You expect. So if he would have just ran into him and the ref would have fell, that would have been okay.
There was no momentum. Look at that, DJ.
There was a lot of momentum.
Time out.
Look at who was pushing him. Carmelo was all over him. Look at it.
VF, go ahead.
Even if he did run into the ref incidental, he wouldn't have went nowhere.
It was still.
Here's a couple things.
You're underestimating inertia?
First off,
really? Okay. You're underestimating inertia. Okay. All right.
All I know is if he ran into him incidentally, like you said he did, he would have got it.
So this was football. If you pass interference, right?
There's two things here.
You really want to go there?
No, hold on.
Just asking. Hold on. Get excited about. I was just joking about that.
There's a couple things here. First off, he wasn't getting pushed. They both had their hands on the ball. Carmelo was at no point pushing him. Secondly, if he was getting pushed into the ref and he got pushed into him accidentally, he would have said, "My fault, I shoved you," and helped him up. He pushed him and then looked at him and was like, "How you throwing me out for that?"
Because he was automatically getting ready to toss him the moment he made contact with him.
He shoved him.
Come on now. You think he was gonna get?
No, he was.
You know what? No, you know what? Yeah, I got an easy way to settle this. I'm gonna send this shit to the DM. You put this on video, and I want everybody in the chat to look at this. And y'all
I got it right here.
I want y'all to see this, and you tell me what y'all saw.
I would have given IT a tech for that.
He should have got ejected for that.
He should have got a tech.
It's known. It's known.
I've seen LeBron do the same thing and get nothing.
He ain't never shot.
I'm serious. I've seen LeBron do the same thing and not get nothing.
Y'all let me know what y'all think when y'all see this.
All right, what do y'all see, chat? Keep letting it loop.
Do it look like he pushed him or not? Cause it look like he pushed the shit out of him.
Right. Yeah, bitch ass ref. And then thought he would. Go ahead, show it again.
He pushed
they
him.
both have their hands on the ball.
Yeah, but
and Melo's like,
Melo still has his hand on the ball, so he still. You saw him move his leg to go with the flow.
His arm extended,
DJ, come on, bro. Come on, DJ.
He should have gotten just a tech for that.
You don't.
That's a tech.
You don't touch a ref, DJ.
He was being pushed in that direction. Carmelo was
he didn't have.
He was fighting for the ball.
Okay, let's see the chat. Hold on.
Bills, hold on. He wasn't even pushing the direction. He's
what? Right.
You need to tell. Look, Carmelo is still moving in the same direction. They're still moving even afterwards. No. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Go ahead, BF.
Let's look at this loop again. Let's look at it again.
We are looking at this loop.
Here we go.
Here
we go. Here's the loop.
All right. Watch.
Okay, here they go.
Boom.
He's not being pushed at this point.
And he
because you froze the picture.
Why is he?
Stop right there.
No, you have to continue to play because it continues.
Hold on, DJ.
Wait a minute. Let's stop this freeze frame. How's Carmelo pushing Thomas right there? Where's his arm?
He's not.
He's holding on to the ball.
He's holding on to the ball.
Okay, now
the inertia from the fight is causing momentum to go towards the referee.
Now I'm going to play it, and you're going to watch his arm. Watch when he watches his arm. Now,
I'm not denying his arm. I'm saying he should have at least got attack. At the most, got attack.
Play it. He shoved him. Come on, DJ. Come on, bro. I know he played for Washington, but you got to stop.
No, it's not even that. It's not even about
DJ,
that. I don't even believe you even threw that in.
Bro, look at this.
I'm just saying this because we seen refs do this real quick.
There was very little momentum.
What if he was trying to grab him to keep him from falling?
Then he would have grabbed him by his arm.
In this.
How do you? Wait, no.
You mean to tell me that if you're in that if you were in that same I'm asking you this. If you were in that same situation and your momentum along with a player was going towards the referee standing right there, it's not moving. Remember, mind you, there's fans behind the ref too. So he puts his arm out. It looked like he went to grab.
No, like
keep
he
from falling.
Now, here's my thing, DJ. Right? Let's say he was going to grab him. I wouldn't try to grab him by his chest. I'd grab him by his arm.
That's you. That's cool.
Man,
That's how you, no.
Man, he pushed him, bro. He pushed him, man.
Come on.
It's okay.
It wasn't worth an injection. At the end of the game, it wasn't worth an injection. Okay. You can't touch the ref, really? Like I said, I said LeBron places his hands on the ref, and LeBron's still in the game. Come on.
Well, he shouldn't be. Shit.
But there you go.
So let's be consistent. LeBron should have been going.
I believe in consistency.
Wait, but when did LeBron do this, though?
That inconsistency.
I don't know, but I'm just saying if LeBron did,
he should have at the most gotten a tech for that. See, the whole
you don't
time, I'm
shove
not denying
a
he
ref.
played it, but the whole thing is all placing your hands on the ref. The ref started to make the call as he placed his hand on him.
Because he
had his hand on him, he started making the call.
Because he saw he was shoving him.
But he started the call when he started to place his hand on his chest.
Hey, I'm supposed to be doing another stream in like 4 minutes, but I know it's gonna be later. I know. I kind of knew
at
it
the
was
most. He should have gotten a tag,
but
that was not worth it,
bro.
If you're not going to throw LeBron James out for the same thing, then
I'm trying to find out when LeBron shoved the ref.
Your guess is as good as mine, DJ. I mean, Bills. I don't know. I'm just saying, but I am saying
it wasn't egregious.
My thing is, if LeBron did it, he should be ejected. So I will agree with that.
I'm just looking and seeing the fact he didn't have to shove the ref, bro.
Well, he didn't have to be like pushed in that direction neither. They were fighting for the ball. Momentum carried both him and Melo.
So if they were fighting for the ball, how did he get an arm free to push that damn ref through?
Because the ref blew the whistle.
He didn't blow the whistle until he got shoved.
No, the ref blew the whistle because you see, what's the name was calling for jump ball. So.
But what I'm saying
the moment they stopped is when the whistle initially blew.
But they weren't out of bounds.
They're still moving in that direction. Like I said,
like all I'm saying is you don't put yourself in that position.
Okay, you got Carmelo.
All right, we're gonna close it out, man. That man, it's okay. It's okay, man.
I'm just saying.
There's more games in the season.
I was soft by the ref.
There's more games in the season.
We've seen this happen in the WNBA too.
Yeah, I know.
And she got tossed, and there was no reason for that. All she was doing was placing her hand out, and that.
All right, I found so wrong. He said she got tossed.
Nothing. Yeah, because it happened it happened in the WNBA.
No, just the way he said, he's like, she got tossed. That's so nasty.
And you're the one thinking about it.
Let's close this shit out, man.
Hey, that's just so. Hey, listen,
you're
man.
the one that's thinking that way.
I am. I can't. It's just bad. It's just bad.
She got tossed. Yeah, you're the one thinking.
This was episode 107. I'm glad that people showed up on a Friday. I'm glad that everybody enjoyed. Thanks for all the feedback. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my stream up in about 20 minutes after we finish this. I'm gonna play with my Oakland Raven.
What are you about? Okay, all right, cool. Yeah. That was a really bad time to pause there.
I'm multitasking, man. I'm sorry, man.
I'm sure you are.
Together with my son, he's about to pass out right here. Oakland
He's
Raiders.
been quiet for a while.
Yeah, he's been pretty sleepy. That's why. But he's been a trooper. We'll play with Oakland Raiders. Gonna play against the Ravens in Madden 08. It's been a pretty good series for both NCAA and Madden 08. And we'll get that started right after I get this done. Tuesday we're got a couple topics I want to talk about, and we'll discuss those at a later time. I'll put them out on social media. Hey, share this episode with people, man, so they can
share this.
You know, I've been sharing the last episode. I've been getting pretty good feedback throughout iTunes, and I did make an application for Google Podcasts again, so I'm waiting for them to hit me back. I also did Spotify as well, and I had to resend that one, so I'm waiting for them to let me know so everybody can listen on different.
Spotify needs to. If they got one of my friends' podcasts on there,
yeah, I mean they
pretty much talk about like anything and everything. So there's no reason why we can't be on.
Yeah, they just never got back to me. They didn't say yay or nay or nothing. They just never got back to me. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get on that probably, like I said, about 20-30 minutes. I'm gonna get my son together and call it a night for him, and I'll start that. So, Bills, what you got?
Thanks for coming through, and yeah, we'll see y'all on Tuesday.
Okay, yeah,
and go Pats, even though I have no faith in y'all.
Hey man, they might pull it off. What about you, DJ?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat for stopping by. Doug, again, thank you for coming by the live stream yesterday, State of K2. So I definitely appreciate you coming through. I appreciate everybody coming through. And for the record, I know IT, yeah, he may have shoved them, but that was not worth an ejection.
Oh my God.
You should make a video about this. Make a video about it. You like so
I don't need to make a video about it. I've spoken. That's all.
Hey man, 21 said the upload button still
said
works.
What I said.
Oh.
All right, y'all. Hey, listen. Not only this, man. I'll be streaming again on Saturday as well. I'll probably be doing more than just the 9:00 stream, so I might be doing some other stuff. Hey man, let's not talk about that, King David. No, we're not talking. Matter of fact, I'm doing a video on that FIU ass whooping because in my NCAA dynasty, man, we got shellacked by FIU. Won the first 5 games, ended up losing by like 40-something points against FIU. So
damn, that happened on a stream?
Yeah, it was rough, bro. It was rough, man. My team was not ready.
I need to watch that shit.
Yeah, man, my offensive line just got killed. And the thing is, NCAA 07 and NCAA 08, right? NCAA 07 and NCAA 08 is like really big on momentum. If you catch the momentum, you can dominate the game. Well, the first play of the game, they run the ball back for a touchdown on the first kickoff. Damn. Never recovered from there. So it's the games are really good, you know, and we're gonna jump on that. We gotta bounce back because we play number 25 Clemson next, which that will be that's supposed to be our quote unquote bounce back game. So we'll be there and catch us on Saturday. Catch the stream on Saturday. I'm gonna probably finish up Modern Warfare 3. So no, I'm not doing the NCAA 14 series. I just don't find the game as compelling to do a stream. The game is fun. I just don't find it streamable.
Now I wish I had NCAA 14.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys Tuesday. Catch me on the stream in a few minutes, probably about 20-30 minutes. So I'll see y'all guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Peace out. Washington Nationals, World Series champs.
You know